Welcome back to One Consciousness. This week it's all kicking off, isn't it? Stock markets have been incredibly volatile and plummeting, even though they're now starting to recover. Anyone listening or has been listening to these videos for some time will know that this is exactly the process of taking down the earth as we've known it. It's collapsing, and that's not to be dramatic, but you will see from my horse's message today that they're guiding us and helping us with our energy as we go into the new earth. So the old earth has to be taken down at the same time that the new earth is coming in. So they're asking us to manage our nervous systems as they were last week. If you haven't heard the video from last week, I'd go back and listen to that. They are very intent on helping us to manage our nervous systems throughout all the chaos that's going on the third dimensional level currently. They will also refer to that in the message today. One point they are bringing up, which they've mentioned several months ago, this is my particular horse who mentioned it then as well, is about the human ego. And I'm going to leave it to her to explain that to you, but I just wanted to say up front, there's always been an assumption, as far as I'm aware, that humans have always had an ego and that it's there to keep us safe. And what my horse is saying is that that's not actually true, none of it. That the ego was actually given, implanted, infiltrated into all of the above, into humans around 600 BC. And if you're understanding how the precessional cycle works, it makes total sense as to why it was a period of descending consciousness when humans were then given the ego, and how that has been used to largely work against our spiritual nature and what we've been trying to achieve on this earth in terms of our spiritual missions, in terms of making the world a much better place, making a difference. So I will leave that to you personally to see how that may have affected you in your life, your ego, and what's happened as a result of it. Just also to mention though that you'll be aware when you're making decisions, when you make them from your heart, and when you make them from your mind, in inverted commas, what the difference is between those two decisions. And often it can be vast, if not opposite. And why might that be? So I'm just leaving that question out there for you before I go into the horse's message this week. Please do keep your comments coming. I love hearing from everyone. If you want to send information to me privately or questions, then please feel free to do that as well. We are going into and already in a very, very intense period, and the horses are helping us to manage our energy, but also to work actively now with that energy and keep our eye on the big picture of the new earth and what it is that's coming in for us, and helping to keep calm in everything that's playing out in the way that it is currently. So enough of that today, and I'm just about to go now into my horse's message for this week. As usual, they always give me a vision of the energy that's coming through before we start the message, And this week, what my horse is showing me is the white light streaming down into my crown. So this isn't just into my crown, this will be into all of our crowns. And this is the white light that's coming down with all the encoded information in it, which is helping to upgrade us physically, mentally, spiritually, in every single way. So this white light is streaming down in pillars into our crowns. The encoded light is streaming in. And if you tune into that, it feels so nourishing and so warm and so expansive in its energy. So I can see myself in this vision inviting it in wholeheartedly. But whether I'm inviting it in or not, it will still be streaming into my crown anyway, as it is streaming into all of us right now, whether we're consciously aware of it or not. And what my horse is saying to me is, you know this is it, don't you? We're right in the thick of it now, and the crescendo will be soon. So I ask her what she means by the crescendo. And she talks about the height of the ascension process, and the intensity will arrive soon, when it will be difficult to know where to focus. And she's talking about in the 3D now, what to look at next, what to take care of, where to put our energy. Then what do we do, I ask her. So she says to go within and center yourself. Keep the big picture of the new earth firmly in your mind's eye and know where we are heading. You know we will come through this, but maybe not in the defined form of what that will look like. So for us at the moment, this is our imagination, which is showing us what that new earth might be, what our role in it might be. But we don't necessarily know how it will all be defined as yet, or whether it will be defined. So she's saying it's important to stay in your soul self, and that will guide you home. And for many of us, we're looking for going home to where we feel we belong. And that may well be the new earth that we are now heading towards. There will be increasing chaos in the outer world, as in the third dimension. And she says it may feel like an Armageddon and at times apocalyptic. And she's mentioned that word several times before. And here it's meaning that the veil is coming down. So this war that's been going on between good and evil, before we move into the new earth, that is all still playing out, although not with the same strength. And many of you will know exactly what I mean by that. The veil is coming down, as my horse has said to us many times before. So she's saying that you can't take down the whole of Earth easily, the whole planet easily and simply. That this process is absolutely necessary that we're going through, and for us all to feel our way through it. For the grieving of the old world and everything that's meant to us. And then the excitement and longing for the new earth. For me, she's saying that that will be very exciting, but not for everyone. And some will be so scared, not knowing what's happening. Soon, she says, we will be releasing a vision of what the new earth will encapsulate, so that everyone will become more familiar with it and will recognize it at a deep soul level. I think she's referring to here. We'll recognize it from deep within, she says, when it starts to emerge for each of us. And that is really important, that when the time comes, people who are meant to be there will embrace it. And by then, their vibration will be activated and ascended to enable them to step through the doors into New Earth. What are the doors, I ask? And she's saying that it's a vibrational term for entry into, similar to the veil coming down for them when they are ready and New Earth is ready. New Earth is also being prepared. It is not only us. So I ask her if the animals and plants and the whole of nature are also being prepared. And she says yes, of course. But for us, it is only a lift up energetically into that space. For many reasons, she says, we don't require the same preparation as humans. We haven't been infiltrated in the same way. And here she's talking about with the ego. And she's saying that they, as animals and nature, have always remained more pure. So for them, they can step up more easily and in a lighter way into that space. And the human race has been so conditioned. And this process, as we have been training you, she says, is to release all of that conditioning, which leads to a freer existence. And the ego will also then be released. The ego that was infiltrated, she says, into the human psyche and consciousness, as we mentioned before, around 600 BC, which set the downhill course for humanity into descending consciousness, as the scope for manipulation has been ever increasing. And along with the separation from us, she says, and nature, and the unity that was there before. And she says it was hard for us, meaning us as animals and nature, to witness over the ages the dying and the separations and removal even of our loved ones from us. And she's talking about humanity here. So we are welcoming you back into the fold of unity. And that will be glorious for us all, she says. That kinship we all value so much. I've always got this impression from my horses when they've been talking to me about New Earth before all of this started out. From 2018, they were intensively talking about how we were going to be moving into this new era. They were always holding the space for this, and it always felt incredibly exciting without being able to put any definition on it as to what it was that they were talking about and helping train me energetically and everyone that worked with them to move into that space. So now when she's saying it'll be glorious for us all, it all makes sense about the vibration increasing now and what they have been talking about for such a long time. So she's now asking us in our soul selves to remember back to those previously awakened and ascended times in our dream state and in meditation now. Bring forth those memories to your conscious waking time. Open your hearts to this expanded way of being, this expanded consciousness. And get ready as we rise back up again to elevated consciousness. We're already now on that path to elevated consciousness again since the end of March. And she says, we are waiting here for you in these higher realms to elevate, as then we will all continue our way forward again. And I'm thinking here about the galactic center and the one consciousness that they are channeling through. So I ask, forward to where? You will see, she says, with a huge smile on her face. And for all of you that know my horse, this particular horse, you will see is one of her favourite ever phrases. Don't ever project into the future. Hold the space, hold the vision. But the rest is about to unfold. And she finishes today by saying, we are in exciting times. Don't lose sight of that excitement with all the challenges of the moment. And she repeats this again in a slightly different way. We are in exciting times. Don't lose sight of that vision of the new earth. We're getting so close now and need to prepare for ascension upgrades even further into the process to the stage of rising now, rising into new earth. And then her final statement for today is, we are with you in strength and unity, always.